Aloha kako. Welcome to Hula Moon Conjure. My name is Walli Lawson and I'm the resident astrologer. Today I want to talk about the meaning of the sun moon rising. A lot of people use the term sun moon rising in their forecasts and in their predictions, and unless you know the meaning of the sun moon rising, it can be a little confusing. Like bad moon rising, what does that mean? Is my sun rising up? Is my moon rising? So I want to kind of go into the explanation of what that really means when it comes to your chart. But before we get to that, I want to look at what a chart is. If you were standing in the spot that you were born and looked up into the sky at the exact moment that you were born, you would see where all the planets are at the exact moment that you were born from the angle of where you were on the earth. The planets get placed into what is a grid of 12 houses, and the 12 houses represent different areas of your life. So the rising sign is what they call is the horizon, on which is why it's very important for you to know the time that you were born, because that will place the sun on this graph in the exact spot that it was when you were born. What it does is it will alter the sign on that horizon based on where the sun is. So on a general basis, if you were born early in the morning, between 4 and 6 in the morning, it means your sun sign and your rising sign, or your ascendant, is going to be the same sign. So you will have a double hit of that particular energy. If you were born at noontime, the sun is going to be up at the top of your chart. And again, it will alternate that sign that is on the horizon. If you were born at midnight, the sun is going to be on underneath the earth, and it will be on close to what they call the IC. Again, altering whatever sign is on the ascendant. So as far as the energies of the sun, the moon, and the rising, the sun represents your vitality, it represents your energy, it represents your consciousness. It can also represent the men in your life that you feel comfortable with or that you deal with. Based on whatever sign that sun is in, you will reflect the characteristics of that sign in your conscious behavior. Now, when you get to the moon is more of your subconscious. It's your emotions, it's the feelings that you have underneath the surface sometimes. It can also represent the women in your life, or the women that you deal with, or are work well with. So the moon represents your emotions, your feelings, and the women that you are comfortable with or may associate with. Now we get to the rising sign, or the ascendant, which is whatever astrological sign is on the horizon at the time that you were born, based on where the sun was at that time. So the rising sign represents how others see you. Because I like to think of the rising sign or the ascendant as the moment that you were born. So it's other people get to finally see you come into the flesh. So therefore, whatever sign is on your ascendant or your rising sign is how other people see you, how you are represented out to the world. Even though you may have a Capricorn sun, if you have an Aries rising, people will see you more as fiery, but they'll also see the conservative, practical side of your Capricorn sun. So sun, moon, rising can be 3 different signs, or it can be several signs of the same sign. So again, this adds to that energy in your personality. Now, what do you do when you're reading a general astrology forecast? Because generally, general forecasts in the newspaper or wherever are always based on your sun sign. So if you are going through, let's say, an emotional issue or dealing with emotional women or something, you might want to read the sign that your moon is in rather than your sun sign. Or you might want to read your rising sign in these astrology forecasts. And that can represent how other people are seeing you. Perhaps some of the energy that you are exposing to the world could be governed by whatever the forecast is saying for that sign. So you have to remember everybody is different. Everybody was born during different times, different places in the world. So we're like snowflakes. Everyone has their own individual characteristics. A chart can also tell you what your purpose in this life is, as you chose, not necessarily what you're doing, but what your intended purpose was when you were born. It can also tell you what type of people you might get along better with, and what type of people you might want to stay away from. So even though general readings will give you forecasts, to get specifically into your chart, you can find cycles, you can get the timing of things. I call a chart a long-term forecast. Thank you for visiting us here on Hula Moon Conjure. I look forward to giving you more information and giving you more education, and to try and keep the subject of astrology simple. I like to kiss it and tell you just the basics so that you can learn how to use the energies of the planets to your best benefit. If you resound with anything that I have said, I would greatly appreciate any kind of contribution or donation to my PayPal. I look forward to giving you more information as far as astrology and the way of life of the astrologer. Thank you and have a wonderful day. Namaste.